So now, if you win, Andrew, what does success look like after 4 years? There was, I believe, four things you mentioned that you focused on in one of your ex posts. One was, safety and potholes. There was pro-business redevelopments, as you mentioned, with these projects, and fiscal responsibility.
Mhm.
What does success look like for you after 4 years? 4 years later, Andrew Selman is councillor Ward 3. 4 years later would be, I think, 31? 20.
God, yeah.
Yeah, something
Well,
like that.
I can't like say it's hard to believe, right? Success to me is seeing a diverse Hamilton thrive. I want to see a budget that is fully audited and transparent. I want to see alleys in Ward 3 that are clean, parks that are clean, streets that are well paved. I want to see, families thriving in our neighborhood. To me, a successful Hamilton is a Hamilton that has really good HSR transit, a restored sense of pride in our city and a trust in City Hall. And I want to see small businesses thrive in all of our commercial corridors. Main Street and Barton Street are perfect examples. In my ideal Hamilton, we actually start to make some progress along Barton Street. And, if you come down to Barton and Ottawa Street with me, and Daniel, I think you live pretty close to me here probably, that that's been an opportunity for decades. This council has certainly set that as a goal. I don't think they've seen success there. So a successful Hamilton to me would see those corridors addressed. And, I'd extend that to downtown and certainly down to Kenilworth as well, Kenilworth Avenue, where we previously lived. Huge opportunities there. So yeah, returning a tax base, returning businesses, returning individuals into some of those apartments that we discussed earlier, some of those brownstones. That's a successful Hamilton to me.
Yep, it was supposed to, Ottawa Street, in the news, 2015 was supposed to be the street that was to take off. Businesses, they moved in, and it's sad to see that some have closed and moved out. And there was actually a fire recently above one of the restaurants, Hamburger, I believe, last week.
It was Nerdcore. So unfortunately, the business called Nerdcore lost their entire inventory and their entire shop. So huge, my heart goes out to them. It's really disappointing to see such a loss. And I think that fire started at the back of the building. But yeah, quick actions by the firefighters prevented it from spreading into Hamburger. I know they had to, I think, smash through the glass there, so they took some damage. But yeah, we have seen some businesses close along Ottawa Street. Ottawa's still certainly thriving. It's, myself and my family, we spend a lot of time down on Ottawa Street. It's our favorite thing to do on Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons. But yeah, we want to continue to see Ottawa Street thrive and see some of those shops that have recently closed, and even that one where we saw that fire, hopefully open back up.
Yep. And of course, this question will be more like a given. Why Ward 3 specifically? But more importantly, what do you think the residents in Ward 3 are most frustrated about? And just for those, again, Ward 3 in Hamilton, outlined in the map, is between Wellington Street, Ottawa Street, as Andrew just mentioned, from the Niagara Escarpment and to the Hamilton Harbor. All of that. I just drove those streets this morning. So yeah. And what are residents in Ward 3 most frustrated about, and why run for Ward 3 specifically?
Sure. So, I mean, if we're not talking about taxes, because I think everyone is frustrated with the state of taxes in this city. I think everyone is frustrated with the state of roads. So I'm not going to talk about potholes. I think one of the biggest opportunities, and one of the things I talk with so many of my neighbors about, is again, that urban blight and decay. So, I mentioned those burned out buildings that back onto Memorial School. We worked together as a neighborhood, and we had a ton of support on that to get those buildings demolished. We did so by public delegations, by engaging with the media, by public letter writing campaigns, and copying as many provincial, federal politicians as possible. So there's a lot of want to address that urban decay and urban blight. So Main Street, again, right here in Ward 3, there are hundreds of, unoccupied derelict buildings. I think we need a uniform strategy to address those. And really what I'd be looking to do is come in with a very aggressive kind of 90-day initial plan to start addressing that. Outside of that, there's certainly always some safety concerns and things like that. You see some break-ins in vehicles and stuff of that nature, where I think the Hamilton police are doing a great job engaging with and speaking to neighbors about. But probably the number one thing outside of taxes, outside of roads, is working on some of these derelict buildings and really improving them and improving our neighborhood.